Okay, so we are now back, and today we are building a new neighborhood and working on the train line. Now, as you're watching this, I will admit I do a couple stupid things as I'm doing the train line. And one of the first of them is not using the terrain tools correctly. But I figure it out quickly. But the train, there's some things that I think I'm going to go back and change on it, but it is really pretty cool to see how I pull this all together. It's a simple case of just doing the train, lowering it down until the road can go over it. And we're going to go from the main city over to the second main city. Not that that makes a lot of sense. But right now, everything that you see I'm doing, don't really pay attention to, because I'm going to undo it, sort of, slightly. So what we're doing is we are getting the train height correct so that the train can go under the road. And it looks pretty good, and it looks good, like I'm going to do a normal train connection. I do like the look of the city. So here we go, they're going underneath there, and I'm going to find the train and connect them. I wish it would have done a better connection, but it does not. But I do connect it sort of okay. And then once it's connected, we have to get the road from the roundabout and go across the river. So it's always crossings like these I always have a problem with. Now, see, here we go, and I'm looking at this now in hindsight because I have recorded this after I've done all the work on it, and I could have just moved the road where it connects over, but I didn't. I do it this way, and it works just as well. So leveling the train so that it makes sense in the area did work really well, and then using the ramp does help. Now, as of this recording, the PS4 has City Skylines on it, and I think it's pretty cool. Do I think I'm going to get it? I don't think so, because there are a lot of things that I've been reading that the PS4 cannot do, like terrain tools, and I really love those, and I think they make the game a little bit better. But here we are connecting the train, and yes, I messed up. So I have to take the train track even further back and hook it back together. So now it is connected, and that is a really good thing. And you can see the city over there. So I need to take this highway, or mini highway, over to the roundabout and have it hook in there. Just makes sense. Now you can go from one side of the city to the other side, and that's the main city. And now that I'm looking at it, we definitely need residential, and since this is going to be one of our non-conforming residential areas, what that basically means is that it's going to be the curvy and wavy residential area, and I love those residential areas. They're sort of fun, and it's usually where I put the colleges. So it's sort of neat to do it that way, but I'm working on this, and we're going to actually put in something else, which I downloaded, and I don't know if I mentioned it before on any of my social media, but I got the stadium. So the stadium does go in this time, and I think I put it in a pretty good area. I'm sort of excited about that because it's sort of cool. But once again, we are now putting in all of the services. And I want to have a lot of parks in this area, because I think parks help develop this whole theme of neighborhood and walkability, and make it easier for everybody involved to go from one spot to the other. In my area, we do not have a lot of parks, and I talked about this a lot with friends who are now annoyed listening to me talk about City Skylines and how things are different. And I've been watching other players who do this, And I like the way the Dutch cities are done. I think that is so impressive. And watching how these cities really are in real life. So, I'm the next city that I do, and you've seen I've started working on 3, which is just the map of 3. I'm going to be connecting it more and more with sidewalks. It's going to be a very green and walkable and rideable city, and I'm going to try to keep from doing too many roads. But right now we're trying to connect everything so that we can go from one side to the other. It's going to be sort of neat to watch how this city evolves, especially as I've changed my playing style, or I shouldn't say playing style, I should be saying design style. My design style is very much different now, and making sure that all of these areas have crosswalks and have connections from one side to the other. Then looking at this, I'm checking to see what services we need. Obviously, it's a crematorium. And then we need to check on fire. And yes, fire is okay. We have the elementary school and then the high school. So we put in the high school there. And then we tried to do this nice little, let's do high school with a sports area. And I think most high schools and most elementary schools have this. Now, one of the things which I don't know why I did, I put in these parking garages. That doesn't really make much sense. Now the stadium. And I'm going to look for a great place to put the stadium because it really needs to be close to transportation, needs to be close to the highway, and so I'm going to search for that great spot. And there's a great highway connection right here, and the train is just up over there. So that would make sense to put it there, but there really isn't the greatest spot to do this. And I sort of wish that they gave us the ability to put it down first and then put roads to it. But that is not there, so I do the best that I can. And looking at this, you can tell where it should go, and it just makes sense that it would go there. So we're going to do it. We're going to put it right on this connector here, and that's going to change quite a few things, because with that means we're going to need to have like parking, because it is a stadium, and every once in a while the stadium will get full. And then we're also going to think about transportation. And I should have looked at transportation beforehand versus putting this down. Because now you can see that the subway goes right underneath the parking garage. So you know what that means. Goodbye, parking garage. So here we are. We're going to put in this road in. And this road's going to give us a chance to put the subway station. Can't put the subway station right now. Have to take that back. And then we'll put the subway station in right there, and that's really close to the road so that you can go from the subway station to the stadium. And then we have to, this whole waiting for the subway line to kick back in. Now we can go and put in the parks. And I'm checking out the stadium because I just think that is so cool. It is so neat that there's stadiums, and there's a new pack coming out called Concerts, and I'm also going to be getting that. But that'll come later. Now this exit and entrance will be a great way if you're going down that direction of the highway. You can slip right over there. Think of it like a slip road. Now we're going to look at the zoning for this. The zoning is really important because you want to make sure that the zoning doesn't give you headaches and make people sick by having too much sound. So in this area, we're going to make sure that we get a nice border with offices between the commercial, the highway, and residential, and that's really important. The first time I did this, I did not do that, and I couldn't understand why my people kept getting sick, but they did. They got sick quite a bit. And then it dawned on me that, yes, it's the noise pollution. So we took care of that by taking care of the noise pollution. And I love this sort of thing. I mean, the houses aren't, well, they're really big. And my style of this is going to change drastically in the next city, which, don't worry, that's not coming up anytime majorly soon, but it is coming up, and I am getting ready for it because I've been studying a lot of cities and driving around and seeing what I like about the city that I live in. There are a couple things I'd change. Alright, back to our building. More houses and commercial are going to go in, but right now we got to get that office buffer space, and that will keep down the noise and make sure that everybody's happy. It doesn't look like we have traffic backing up, which is good. More residential in there because we need the city to grow, and I think it's interesting that we are actually making money, but money is not our top concern, because what I want to get into is I want to get into designing cities more than playing it for the gameplay. Alright, so now we're going to zoom out and check and see how this area is. I think this area is going to have an airport. Now, I'm going to tell you right off the bat, it takes me a while to get this airport in. I mean, you have the football stadium over there, and so having an airport so that people can fly in and out to see the games does make sense, but finding the exact perfect location for this is a little bit more difficult. So we start looking for it, and I could have just leveled out the land, but there were a couple spots where it did show up, where it turns green, and I could have put it in there, and I was determined that's what I was going to do. And so guess what? That's what I'm going to do. I'm determined in this. So finding that right spot. There, no, go back. Okay, right there. Alright, so our airport is in, and we know for a fact that it has to be able to get traffic, and also it needs to be able to get, like, transportation stuff. So we're going to put in a train line in on this, which is really cool. The train line will go in there, and I think the train line is probably one of the last things that I'm going to put in here. But the train line goes in just to make sure that we can get goods in and out of the town by airplane. I wish you could just put a road there, but nope, you can't. Alright, so let's get this in here. And you notice there's a subway station. We'll take care of that later. Now what I want to take care of is the cargo station. The cargo station, I think, will be the last thing that I put in today because I am running out of time, and I want to make sure that this video does get up. But it's just a simple loop, and it's one of those easy things, and I wanted it to at least be somewhat believable. And when you look at where it's going to come off of, it'll just go across this main road. And then we're going to drop it down and do an easy loop. I like these easy things because it's just one of those things that you can just do. And then we'll circle this back around and then bring it up. There we go. And then connect it as best we can. I would love to have connected down there.
If you like this video, give it a thumbs up. You can share it. Don't forget to subscribe and check out the other videos on this channel. I love making these videos for you, and I hope I get to see you again next time.